Hello and welcome to the DX Corner for your weekly dose of DX. I'm Bill, AJ8B. Let's start with an operating reminder. Joe Pater, WAGEX, the godfather of 60 meters, reminds everyone that effective February 13th, the FCC will restrict U.S. amateur radio stations from operating at 100 watts on 5.357 megahertz, limiting power to just 9.5 watts on that frequency. To continue operating at 100 watts, many US DXers will move their FT8 activity to a new frequency, 5.371.5 MHz, effective the same date. Operators are encouraged to inform friends, club members, and relevant news outlets about this change to ensure a smooth transition. While many other countries will continue using the original frequency, it is important to notify anyone planning DXpeditions of the US that the shift will be to 5.371.5 megahertz. And again, that comes from the godfather of 60 meters, WAGEX. Thanks, Joe. The following DX information comes from Bernie, W3UR, editor of the Daily DX, the Weekly DX, and the How's DX column in QST. If you would like a free 2-week trial of the Daily DX, your only source of real-time DX information, just do what several listeners have done and drop me a note at thedxmentor@gmail.com. I'll take care of it. Well, we're moving closer to a couple of key DXpeditions, and I'd like to bring you up to date. The first is Sable Island, Charlie Yankee Zero Sierra. Lee, WW2DX, reports that he is in the final testing stage on the 1296 EME equipment and antennas. He reports that there is a problem with the rotor, and he's currently troubleshooting it. Lee is excited about being able to work 1296 from such a needed location as Sable Island. He is also testing the 6-meter Yagi and getting it ready for transport. All else remains on track as each team member has finalized their travel plans. The Charlie Yankee Zero Sierra team appreciates all of the recent support from foundations, clubs, and individuals. More news will be forthcoming this week. Information on the team and their plans is always available at cy0s.com or, of course, via me. Secondly, we have the VU7 Lakshadweep DXpedition. The revised schedule for Alpha Uniform 7 Radio Sierra shows that they should be QRV by now, and in fact they are. I heard them last night. Weight restrictions on their vessel necessitated the delay of some of the equipment. The scheduled revision has them arriving on the island on the 8th and then to begin the setup process. Well, we know that happened. They expected 2 stations on the air by February 10th, with additional stations added as they can. They hope to be able to stay on until February 25th, and you can QSL via M0OXO. And their website is vu2rs.com/VU7R. Finally, we have Macau, XX7W. An international team will operate as XS9W from Macau March 19th to the 31st, so that's just a month away. The group plans to be active on 160 through 6 meters CW, sideband, and the digital modes, with at least 4 stations on the air simultaneously. They have at their disposal multiple radios and ACOM, SPE, and HOW amplifiers. Antennas include spider beams, hex beams, verticals, an inverted L, a 6-meter Yagi, and an Arrow satellite antenna. And I have talked to several of the guys going on this, and this is going to be a bang-up DXpedition. I can't wait. I have an update on the ongoing Desecheo Island, Kilo Papa 5 stroke Nancy Papa 3 Victor India. We are pleased to announce an extension of the Desecheo DXpedition 2026 until Tuesday, March 3rd. The original recovery date was Thursday, February 12th. However, deteriorating sea conditions have required us to delay equipment recovery until March 3rd. As a result, the DXpedition will remain on the air longer, providing additional opportunities for operators to work Desecheo Island for an all-time new one, which remains our primary focus. During the extension period, we will continue to operate on the bands and modes that have proven most effective and productive. All-Time New One Day. We will be conducting an All-Time New One Day, otherwise known as an ATNO, for 12 hours, beginning Sunday, February 15th, at 1200 UTC and ending Monday, February 16th at 0 UTC. During this period, we will be focused on FT8 from 1200 to 1400 UTC, after which we will focus on single sideband. Operation will be in the U.S. general portion of the bands. We respectfully ask operators who do not need KP5 Desecheo Island for an all-time new one to please refrain from calling us during this period. This will help maximize opportunities for those who still need this rare entity in their log. Well, we have an update on their statistics, and currently they have worked over 66,000 QSOs in the log, with 14,700 being unique and 3,674 were all-time new ones. So those are all great numbers. The Desecheo DXpedition team sincerely thanks the amateur radio community worldwide for its continued interest and support of this first ever fully solar-powered rare entity DXpedition. And this came from Steve, N2AJ, who is the media officer and the pilot. So we have an ongoing activity at Reunion Island, which is Fox Radio, and then followed up with Mayotte Island, which is Fox Hotel. Ivan UR9IDX is now on the air as FR/UR9IDX until February 15th or 16th. His next stop is Mayotte as FH/UR9IDX for at least 20 days, generally on whatever bands are open the best. And I knew that Ivan was on last night, so he is up and operating. We have an African country, Mali, which is Tango Zulu. Ulmar, Delta Kilo 1 Charlie Echo, should be QRV as Tango Zulu 1 Charlie Echo until March 1st. He will be doing mostly FT8 and sideband and says when he's on FT8, he gives stations outside of Europe precedent at all times. He plans special attention to 160-meter FT8, 80-meter FT8, and 6 meters, and will update daily on Club Log. The LOTW log will be uploaded after the operation. And in Mali, 60-meter operation is not allowed. Sorry, Joe. Tom, Delta Lima 7 Baker Oscar, is QRV from Cambodia as X-Ray Uniform 7 Oscar until February 21, reports DX News. And I've heard him on 2 nights in a row and this morning. I didn't have a chance to work him, but I know he's in there. From Sierra 9, which is Sao Tome and Principe Islands, Barut, S53BV, is QRV as S9BV. He says propagation on 40 has been good. He will QRV on 40 and 15. Late in the week, he will be activating 60 meters, apparently CW only. The calling frequency being 5.351.5. Due to different band plan regulations, he will listen from 5.3515 to 5.355. And I have an announcement of my own. I will be joining the internet radio staff at W2PHradio.com. The DX Mentor Show will run every Tuesday from 2 to 3 p.m. and every Thursday from 7 to 8 p.m. You can catch this show and all of the ham activity and great music at W2PHradio.com. Give that a listen and let me know what you think. I have been absolutely blown away by the excellent music and programs that Ed has put together there at W2PHradio.com. And they were also featured in QST the last couple months. You may want to check that out. And finally, contest updates. I know that the ARL contest sheet is read elsewhere in this podcast, and the contests that I mention are sometimes redundant. However, there are a few contests that I have found to be especially useful for DXers who are trying to fill band slots or work an all-time new one. The big contest on the horizon is the ARL International DX Contest, CW, held from 0 Zulu February 21st to 2400 Zulu on February 22nd. The exchange is simple, RST and your state or province. The contest objective is to encourage W and VE stations to expand knowledge of DX propagation on the HF and medium frequency bands, improve operating skills, and improve station capability by creating a competition in which DX stations may only contact W or VE stations. One contest period is for CW only and one is for phone only. For both, you can only use the standard non-work bands, 160, 80, 40, 20, 15, and 10. And I'll give you a hint. It's been this contest where I've been able to pick up some additional 160 and 80 meter countries that I couldn't normally get. Be careful. The logs are due within 7 days after the event is over. Logs may be submitted via either online or via mail. But electronic Cabrillo logs are the preferred method. Entries for the CW and phone portions of the competition must be submitted separately and must be postmarked before that 7-day deadline. Do not forget that. They are not forgiving. Until next week, this is Bill, AJB saying 7-3, and thanks to my ex-YO Karen for her love and support. I hope to hear you in the pileups. Have a great DX week.